Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today we're talking about dust mask. Alright guys, let's get started. Um, so I'm just gonna run through a few uses for dust mask in a survival situation. Obviously you've already got your own ideas, but I'll just run through a couple. To me, these are a very important part of a bug out bag, survival bag, get home bag, whatnot. Um, Depending on where you live, you might need them more than other people. Because I'm in the city, I feel that I do need them. But I'm just going to run through a few times when you would need these in your bug bag. First of all, bushfire. These are actually recommended by the government to have around in bushfires. Um, they can help, they can save your life. Obviously, a good quality one will help keep those particles out of your mouth. Not so much about the smoke, about everything else that comes along with the bushfires too. That's why you need them. And also that also means house fires. If you have a fire at home, bushfire, face mask could help save your life too, and could help save somebody else's life. I don't recommend running into the house, but if you really have to, then a dust mask might help. Might help. I'm not going to say that it is. Another situation. Building collapsing because of any reason at all. Uh, Earthquake. Perfectly good reason there. You're in the city. Earthquake. Dust mask. Could save your life once again. A lot of old buildings still around. There might be asbestos in the air. You put your dust mask on, and that's going to help save your life. Asbestos isn't going to kill you now, but years down the road, it's going to come and get you if you breathe in too many fumes from asbestos. Um, what else? I guess the next item on the list would be biological. I was reading here. In Australia, we got standards P1, P2, and P3. So P1 would be a dust mask like this. It's very basic. It's only for big particles, which can be a bonus because you can actually breathe a lot easier in one of these ones. These ones, I always end up sweating really badly, but they do help keep out a lot of dust and other particles from your lungs. These are actually recommended for use with specific infection controls. So for things like SARS and tuberculosis. So in a situation where there's the disease around, say after a flooding or a cyclone or a tsunami or whatnot, these can come in handy once again. Dust masks can come in handy. So I'm just going to run through the Australian standards. I'm not sure about the overseas standards. I only know about the Australian standards. So as I was saying before, this is a P1 and this here is a P2. So P1 is good for mechanically generated particles, e.g. dust, flour, silica. These are suitable for relatively large particles above 1 micron, released in mechanical operations like sanding, drilling, cutting, sawing, and crushing. So that's what the P1 is good for. The P2 is good for mechanically and thermally generated particles, e.g. welding fumes. This class of filter has a higher capture efficiency to be able to deal with efficiently with smaller thermally generated particles, e.g. sub-micron size welding fumes. The P2 is also a class of filter recommended for specific infection control application, e.g. with SARS and tuberculosis, or other infectious diseases where they can capture biologically active airborne particles and aerosols under specific conditions. And here in Australia, we have one more. I don't have one with me. It's called a P3 filter. The P3 filter is for use with toxic materials and or when very high protection levels are needed, e.g. Beryllium. Beryllium is radioactive. I know that much. It's on the element table. So there are your three types of face masks that you can get here in Australia. You can also get the full face masks, which obviously work a lot better and are a lot more effective. They do cost more and they aren't as versatile and as mobile as these ones. But then once again, a full face mask if it's raining That might help because the face mask isn't going to get wet and become unusable. Once you start to sweat in these, if it's hot and you got to walk with one of these on, you're going to really start to struggle because they're going to get clogged up with water. So they're your basic uses for face mask. There are many more other uses, even just around the house. It's good to have these around. They're fairly cheap. Probably you won't need one like a P3, but even something like a P2, it's not going to stop everything, even though it says it does do a lot. I think if it's more of a biological attack and that's why you have to leave, not sure if a face mask is going to help. It could, it can't, I can't say. You really got to research that yourself. And for even something like a fire, like yeah, these do help, but you're better off having a full face mask. And then even then, something like oxygen. I never suggest running into a fire, but if your house is surrounded by a bushfire, one of these could save your life. Alright guys, this has been Chris from Everyday Survival Gear, bringing you Dust Mask. And as always, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.